Hi again then guys, and welcome to another car tune, of course, from the 1.33 or 1.34 or whatever update we're running on now, with the Mustang in mind, the Shelby GT350, the classic one, and I decided to go down a little bit of a different route with this one. It's a dirt build, as we've done before. In fact, we've done specifically for Mustangs before. I did a Mach 1 rally build in this same category, funnily enough, N300, but, spoiler alert, this one is quicker. 5 seconds quicker around the Sardinia windmills, so that's pretty impressive for a track which isn't particularly long anyway. Now, as far as the upgrades, of course, being a rally build, you can build it to whatever class you want. You don't have to keep it in N300. I've opted for that because the more power you give it, the more power you've got to get down through the rear wheels. So keeping it minimal can sometimes work out better, especially in the case of a rear-wheel drive car. Then as far as the weight, though, I have dropped that as far as it can go, and it is pretty light. That's always been one of the good things about this particular shape Mustang. As far as traction control, of course you want that turned off. It's way too sluggish if you have it turned on off-road. Dirt tyres, obviously. As far as the suspension, I would recommend the highest ride height, because this particular tune, as you could kind of tell from the thumbnail, it's more about the fun of dirt driving rather than just being like, oh, this is a rally replica or an old-school grabber replica. It's not. This is not a replica of anything. It's not designed to feel like a rally car. It's designed to be fun, kind of like the Mad Max rally builds that I've done in Gran Turismo 6, that kind of stuff. So we've got the highest possible ride height to get a lot of travel on the suspension, particularly because it looks good to watch the car bouncing through the corners. The frequency, for that exact same reason, we've got as low as possible. Anti-roll also as low as possible, although to be honest, you cannot really tell. It doesn't really wallow around through corners anywhere near as much as you'd assume it would. For the dampers, both on compression and rebound, once again, as low as you can go. As far as camber, it is rear-wheel drive, so I've gone for 1 degree, just for that extra layer of stability. The toe angle is neutral. Downforce, of course, doesn't apply for this one. As far as the diff, you've got options, for sure. I prefer my rear-wheel drive rally cars to have a little bit more understeer, so that they're more predictable. Yes, they're heavier, but they're predictably heavy, so you can work with that, brake a little bit earlier, really throw it into the corner, and that's how you can use this one. If you want it to be a bit looser, then of course you could try increasing the acceleration and potentially the braking sensitivity as well, but I'll leave that down to you if you want to. As far as finally the transmission, you want the fully customized setup. I would recommend an auto setting of 180, and you actually find that you only use about 3 to 4 of the gears anyway on most of the dirt tracks, because the gears will get right up into the red line, and even in auto it won't actually change gear, which is good because you can keep in that gear, allow it to coast through the corner sideways more often than not. So as far as the gears themselves, as you can see, we're running 2.4, 1575, 1175, 950 and 825 with that final drive of 3.9. And the only reason why you might want to change those numbers is if you do give it more power, because of course you might want to get more top end speed out of it, but again, it's a rally build, so how much top speed do you really need? So that's it for the tune. There's definitely room for variation there if you want to change things up, but of course what you want to see is how cool does it look in action. Well, personally, I think it looks really cool. Now, the suspension being soft, especially coupled with a high ride height, pretty much looks good on any muscle car, as far as I'm concerned. When you see the car squashing and diving through the corners, it just looks more authentic. It looks like an old-school muscle car in like a movie chase. And of course, the livery itself is kind of an homage to that as well. Overall, it is actually quite quick off-road, although that wasn't even the purpose. It was designed first and foremost to be fun and to look good doing so, which I think it does, but as it happens, it was, as I said, also 5 seconds quicker than my Mach 1 rally build in N300 as well on this same track. So the performance speaks for itself. It's a very good off-roader. The fact that the car itself is relatively compact as far as pony cars or muscle cars go, and also it is very, very lightweight for this kind of car, it translates to being really good through the corners. It's a lot of fun, it sounds great, it looks the part, so if you do decide to use this tune, I hope you have more than anything else a ton of fun with it, potentially even win some rally events as well though. And of course, if you want to check out my other rally builds and my other tuning in general, then click here on screen. But for now, as always, thanks for watching.